Okay, so this is trying to have a balance in the amount of authority that you give and amount of responsibility that you give to your children. But it could also be to, if you're a boss and you have somebody who works for you, or you're a worker and you have a boss, this can help you to maybe put a balance to things. That imagine that you have a coin, and with the coin has two sides. So if I wanted to give you this coin, I can't give you the top of the coin and not the bottom of the coin. That if I give you the coin, I have to give you the whole coin because it's got two sides. So in working with someone or raising a child, you have to understand that you start off with them not being capable or not having the abilities to do a certain job or to fulfill certain responsibilities in life. Little children don't know how to feed themselves, bathe themselves, dress themselves, use the potty. So when they're born, they're not just born with these inherent abilities, and so we have to teach those things to them. We have to modify their behavior to help them know how to do these things, and so there's training involved. So as life goes on, you keep training your children how to do things to be independent for themselves, and when they can independently do it without your help, then you're basically giving them a coin. So you're working on training them so that you can give them that coin that says, and now that you can bathe yourself, you're going to just go upstairs and take a bath when it's time to take a bath, and I'm not going to run your water and sit next to the tub and wash your hair and wash your body and take you out and dry you off and get you dressed. I'm not going to do all those things because I've been working with you now and you're capable of doing that, and you're age appropriate, at age appropriate time. So that I've taught them to be responsible to do that, and then I've given them the authority to go and do that. So all of those things happen again through potty training and all of those kinds of things, from being a baby into a small child. Eventually you train them with their teachers to be able to go to school and learn how to do their ABCs and their colors and their shapes and all those kinds of things that you learn starting with preschool and then kindergarten and all the way through the school. It just keeps becoming more and more things that they're being taught the ability to do. So as they're taught the ability to do it, they're responsible to learn it, and then they're responsible to use it in some way that is hopefully a productive thing. And therefore they have the authority to use these skills. You taught them these skills and this knowledge so that they would be responsible to do it. You have to also give them the authority to do it. So as time goes on, your responsibility towards your children as a parent raising them is that you want to help them become independent and able to do this. But sometimes we don't realize that the two sides of the coin are responsibility and authority, and so we might tell someone they're responsible to do something but don't really give them the authority to do it, and then we might get mad at them because we have to work so hard to get them to do it. And it's like, well, you didn't really give them the authority to make decisions so that they could do it without you, therefore they're not doing it without you, and that means it's more work for you. You're holding back the authority, and when holding back the authority, you're also holding back the responsibility of doing it in an independent way, of being able to make a decision as to when you can and can't do something. So on the other hand, we can go the other way, where we give the authority of, you get to make all the decisions, but I'm going to have to keep the responsibility for doing it. So as my kids got older, I had them earn an allowance, and then when they got their allowance, after doing all their chores and schoolwork and responsibilities, and it came to be Saturday morning, and I'd say, okay, well, here's your allowance. So guys, what do you want to do? I can take you to places and we can do things. So at first, I would take them to a movie or something and sit with them and let them spend their money that they had earned. So I gave them some responsibilities to do things to earn money, and that gave them the authority to decide what we're going to do, but we would go and do it together. As they got to be older, that they started wanting to go 4 different directions to do 4 different things and spend their money in 4 different ways, and I had to be able to allow them to be independent when they were capable and old enough to. That they also I provided them with money for buying clothes for going to school. When they were little, I went and bought the clothes, and I didn't, sometimes I did or sometimes I didn't even take them with me because I was picking out the clothes. It's not their choice. So I'd find something and say, yes, this looks good and the price is reasonable, and so I've got enough outfits for them to go to school every day for the week and have a few extras, and so that's enough clothes. They don't need any more than that, and here we go. I've got all of this, and I'll make sure that they're dressed and off to school. I took a lot of responsibility, but I had the authority and it was my money. So as time went on, I upped their allowance, and I gave them special projects they could do to earn extra money if they wanted to spend it for buying their school clothes, but they had to buy their own school clothes. Again, originally it was my money, but I paid them for doing things that they should be doing, for being responsible. And having learned that, they earned the money, and they would have to, then I could just take them as, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, I could drop them at the mall and let them go in and buy their own clothes. So we went from, I go to the store, I pick out all their clothes, and they have nothing to say about it, to where as they got a little bit older and they started saying, well, I would really like to get this brand of jeans. I would really like this shirt. I want to go and pick out my own clothes. I'm not sure what I want, but I want to pick it. To where I would take them and I would buy the clothes, but I would give them the ability to make choices. I also held on to some of the authority to say no. If they went and got a pair of $200 shoes and I'm like, I'm willing to spend $50 on a pair of shoes for you, but I'm not willing to spend $200. So go find a $50 pair of shoes, put those ones back. And they had to go, oh, but they understood that I have the authority because I'm spending the money. It's my responsibility. As they got older, it's like, hey, you want those $200 pair of shoes? That's fine. It's your money, but you're first going to have to earn the money. You can earn it from me. You can go mow lawns in the neighborhood. You could get a paper route. You could, when you're old enough, you could go get a job at McDonald's or someplace. If you earn the money, then you can go to the mall and walk around with your friends and pick out what you want to get, and that's all your responsibility and your authority. So, and they already knew that they had to have enough socks and underwear and pants and shirts and outfits to get through the week and then wash their clothes. So bit by bit, they learned there's two sides of the coin, and I had to teach them that. They didn't know that, but over the years, by example and modeling it, I taught them the more responsibility you accept, the more authority you're going to get. But you're not going to get that authority unless you're being responsible. And I'm going to try not to take it back from you once I've given it to you. But if you find that you got yourself in trouble by misusing your authority and not being responsible, and now you've got problems, you can come to me and I will review with you. I'll be an advisor. I will help you learn a lesson on how to work your way out of those problems. But if you create a problem, it's your problem. So I suggest you be wise about how you use your authority and your responsibility. So, but I will always be here for you, no matter how old you get, to help you work your way out of it. But you're going to work your way out of it. I'm not just going to come in and fix it for you. So they learned that, and for the most part, that has worked out very well for me. And that's what I suggest that people do in terms of parenting. Authority and responsibility. Imagine you have a whole bag of coins when your children are born. Over the course of their lifetime, you're supposed to give them those coins so that they can take care of themselves and become independent. And by the time they're an adult, that you hope that they would come to you for advice if they need it, but they don't have to. That's, they're an adult now. So you want to have them become an adult who will be a responsible person.